listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LOZ Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ken Lawler. You are joining us again, either in the LOZ app where you're watching this live. Well, not really live, but you're watching it. And then you might be listening to us on KRMS radio on Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. That's the big simulcast. We love our collaboration with KRMS. And you can, by the way, can go into the LOZ app, hit the media button, and listen to any of the stations over at the KRMS group, whether it's rock or sports or news talk. But you can always find us on Saturdays from 10 to 11 a.m., and we love our collaboration, so go check them out. Today, I am super excited. I have my good friend and somebody very important to the shootout, Sarah Moody. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Sarah is the Operations and Engagement Manager for the shootout, and that's a big title, a lot to say, but basically you kind of catch everything there is to catch with helpers and volunteers, and you're in charge of that, right?
Yes. Yep. Everything volunteer related, and then helping kind of build out some of the organizational structures on the back end as well. But all 1,000 volunteers fall kind of to me to communicate with and try to organize.
And really, the shootout is an organization of volunteers. I mean, it truly is the whole way the charity works, in case you guys don't understand. It's really cool. So we have all these events. We get donations for the events. We get people to sponsor the events, the shootout races themselves, and then about 12 events throughout the year. But every event needs people, right? We need helpers and volunteers to make it go off. We need people who can park cars. We need people who can register, who can help set up, who can drive a boat. With Sarah, all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all. We need volunteers in every possible position, but really the shootout wouldn't happen without volunteers. It is run. All of our events are run by volunteers, and those volunteers are approved shootout charities. And so they're ultimately giving back to the community, but by volunteering their hours, they're also getting then at the end of the year a donation from the shootout. So we help them, they help us, but the events really wouldn't run without all the volunteers managing all of the patrol boats and the parking and the general event support, working gates. Every place you see someone in a volunteer shirt, those are all truly volunteers.
Yeah. And, I think what's really cool about it is you've got a situation where you volunteer for an event, you go work the event. You could have, and let's face it, it's kind of fun. You're hanging out with people, you're helping people. And then at the end of it, when it's over, let's say you worked 6 hours at that event, you get to donate those hours to any one of the charities that are under the umbrella of the shootout. And I think, my gosh, are we up to 40 now? I'm trying to remember the final number.
We're close to 50. So
close to 50
upper
charities.
40s. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is truly the way it's set up. So everybody who helps out gets to donate their hours towards a charity of their choice. And so at the end of the year, we kind of count up how much money did we raise. We divide it between all those volunteer hours. And so let's say a volunteer hour is worth $50 and you work 6 hours, you're now volunteering, you're donating $300 towards the charity of your choice. I think it's an amazing idea and setup where a lot of charities could take notice, because this is really about the community, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it's fun because you don't have to be affiliated with that charity to volunteer. Anyone in the community can volunteer. And when they go and they register in the Shootout Helpers site to volunteer, there's just a drop-down menu, and they choose what organization they want their volunteers to get donated to. So you don't feel like you have to be part of an organization to volunteer. You can volunteer just as you and your friends because you want to be close to the action, and then choose your favorite charity for those hours to be donated to.
And anybody can volunteer, right? I mean, this is like kind of open to anyone out there who wants to get involved. It can be a group of you, so you could have your organization could do it, or you could just have one person who just is out there and they say, I want to kind of throw my hat in the ring, and they can do that as well.
Yep, absolutely. And I think we see some of both. Some folks that maybe are new to the area and want to volunteer, and it's a good way to start meeting people and get engaged. Or if you have a large group of folks and you want to do something together, we see, groups of people, which is really, that's the fun part, when there's lots of areas in traffic control or dock working that you could work with a group of friends. So that'd be great.
And a lot of people make friends. I know I've talked to people who have come out to volunteer. Maybe they're themselves or they're with one other person. They end up, doing a 6-hour parking gig with 10 other people, and they become good friends. And they kind of have something they can share together. And then the next year they volunteer. They're like, I want to work with Mary and Sue and Jim if I can, because they were so fun. And we try to accommodate that, right?
We do. We, to the best of our ability, we try to keep folks with who they would like to volunteer with. And it's fun. I mean, I started out my first 10 years was just volunteering for the shootout. And it's fun. It's busy and there's action. You get to be close to everything, but then you actually get to be part of something giving back. So I've been on both ends and I like both.
And it's so easy. All they got to do is go to shootouthelpers.com. It's up on your screen if you're watching us. Shootouthelpers.com. You go to that site and you sign up to become one of the volunteers. It takes about 3 minutes. And then once you're signed up, you can actually go pick from all of the events and all of the time slots that we have that are in there. And somebody could, you can sign up for more than one, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can sign up for multiple shifts. We encourage folks to try to do 4 to 6 hours in a day. If you want to do 2 shifts in one day, you're welcome to. But you could choose, you can sign up as much as you want for as many events as you want. So they're listed by event and then the kind of the job type or category. And then it lists all the different times and dates available.
Well, we just came off mini shootout. We had a lot of volunteers out for that. That was a real success. And they had that at Hahatonka State Park. So we had people driving buses. We had people at parking lots. We had people doing crowd control. We had people helping set up tents and all the good stuff that happens out there. What a great event for the family it was.
Yeah, it was an awesome event. And the weather, it was a little cool on Saturday, but was great because I would take that over being hot. And then Sunday, the weather couldn't have been better. Cooperated for everyone.
And you even had people that were cooking hot dogs and hamburgers. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that people can help with. And everything that we do is trying to raise money for the charity.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's talk about a few of the events that are coming up that we're going to need some help with. So, Shootout, everybody thinks is the race day, but really Shootout is a series of events that happen all year long. And they kind of crescendo here at the end of August with the big racing 2-day races. So, but there's a lot going before we even get to that. There is a Hall of Fame dinner on Monday, correct?
Hall of Fame's on Tuesday. There's the Heroes Day on Monday. Hall of Fame dinner's on Tuesday.
Yeah, so that's so this is kind of cool. There's a Heroes Day lunch, which is honoring first responders, and that's going to be at Shady Gators. So if you're wanting to give back and you're wanting to help out, kind of support our first responders, you go to Shady Gators, you're going to help park, you're going to help, maybe move things in and out of the building. Yeah, registration, all that kind of stuff over at Shady Gators, which, hey, if you're going to hang out, why not? It's a great place to hang out.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, we have the Hall of Fame dinner, which is really a cool thing where they honor the Hall of Famers from years past. And this year we have every year you name new Hall of Famers. So they'll be named and give speeches. And again, it's helping set up tables. It's helping maybe you moving alcohol and food around for somebody. I mean, there's all kinds of different things to do. None of it is, I would call it, none of it's dirty work. I mean, yeah, there's some trash that we try to clean up and maybe stuff like that. But for the most part, it's being around the organization and helping people and just making sure everybody knows where they need to be, right?
Yeah, a lot of check-in and registration, usually some light decorating. We're going to have lots of spots for people to shuttle this year in some Cadillac Escalades. So that could be driving record and provide your driver's license. But there'll be lots of opportunities for that this year too. Shuttling at the Hall of Fame dinner for additional parking, registration for Hall of Fame dinner. And then we move into Wednesday, which is...
Wednesday is a big one. That's the street party.
Yeah. The street party requires a ton of volunteers, a lot of parking and traffic control folks. I think we're going to have paid parking in 5 or 6 different lots. So we need people in each one of those. People in the street where the street's closed, diverting traffic, which then puts you close to the boats, merchandise sales, a lot of setup and tear down of tents and cones and everything that day. So the street party is one of our biggest events.
And yeah, we get, I want to say 13, 14,000 people coming down for this thing. It's huge. It gets bigger every year. Everybody wants to look at the boats. They want to get up and down the street. But that is a great party, but we also need a ton of help for that. And you can really get some good volunteer hours for that event.
Absolutely.
And then we go into demo days at Dog Days, which will be on, I believe, Thursday.
Yep.
And so that's kind of fun too, because you're working on the docks, you're seeing all the cool boats. Look, I think there's a lot of ways you could volunteer, but a lot of the things that we ask people to do, you're around fun people, you're doing fun things. Everybody's happy, everybody's there for a reason, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a fun atmosphere. That's the reason I volunteered for 10 years before I started working for the shootout. It was just, I enjoyed the camaraderie and I enjoyed being close to the action a little bit, but not too close. So the docks would be fun on Thursday. And there'll be some vendor setup happening Thursday morning too, but a lot of action on the docks on Thursday for sure. And then Friday's a little bit of a slower day.
Yeah, and all that happens before the actual boat race, which is the shootout, which is, that's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. Now for that event, we do a ton of parking, but we also have some unique jobs that I think is totally cool. This is really neat. You were saying you need patrol boats and captains to help with boat traffic, people getting in and out of the line of boats that set up on the course itself, and kind of traffic control on the water, really, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the best seats in the house is if you have a boat that can idle well, anything with gives you a little bit of shade too. So having, there's always a captain and a co-captain. So one's driving, the other one's kind of holding up signs and helping, the anchor line stay where it's supposed to be, and spectators get set up where they're supposed to be. And then they just kind of patrol the course, just, making sure that they report anything that you see that might not, like if somebody's floating out too close to the race line. But otherwise it's a pretty easy gig. And it's all day out on the course. So this year we're allowing those patrol boats. Usually we've had a limit of 2 folks. We're allowing, if there needs to be an extra person or 2 on those boats, there can be. There's no alcohol, no mind altering substances, but otherwise it's a great fun day on the lake. And it really helps keep the course safe. It's an integral part of the race.
Well, guys, we're just putting the call out there for anybody who wants to be a volunteer this year to go to shootouthelpers.com, sign up to be a volunteer. Sign up for one of these shifts that work one of these events, or 2 or 3 or 4. It's a great way to get involved. It's a great way to give back. And then at the end of it all, if you tag 25 hours, let's say over the week of volunteering, that's 25 hours of time you're donating to your charity of choice, and you have almost 50 to choose from. So there's something on that list, I'm sure, that's close to your heart and that you can get behind. And maybe there's 1 or 2, maybe you want to split your hours, so you can do that as well. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on the LOZ Podcast Network and bringing us up to speed on what's going on with the shootout and shootouthelpers.com. We look forward to seeing you out there. I know you're going to be out there all week long.
I will be out there all week. Ken, thanks for having me. Thanks for helping us recruit some more volunteers. And I hope to see lots of people, lots of new faces out on Shootout Week this year.
I love it. All right, everybody, there you have it. That's another edition of the LOZ Podcast Network, and we will be right back after these words.